My name is Boma Dave. I'm the CEO and founder of Bave Design Studio. So my story is a bit odd because I didn't choose beauty or tech. It kind of found me by mistake, which now that I think about it, my life has been filled with a lot of oddities that have brought me to where I am right now. I started a business with a friend in 2017 that had to do with skincare, but it was natural skincare. And one thing that we wanted to do was that we wanted to have a website. And I didn't want somebody else to do the website for us, so I decided that I was going to do it myself, and I did the website with Shopify, designed everything myself, and God would have it, my partners of that time reached out to BM Pro to buy one of our products. And BM Pro saw the products and saw the website. And she asked, who did this website? And she said it was me. And BM Pro was like, tell her she needs to do a website for BM Pro makeup. And that was how I got my first job in the beauty industry. So I did a website for BM Pro, which as of that time until now is one of the biggest makeup artists in the whole of Nigeria. So it's a very odd story, but that's how I started. And because of that, I started getting other jobs for people in the beauty industry. And that's how I started out. It was not intentional. I had no idea about CSS, HTML, and because of how lazy I am, I had no plans of learning either. So doing a website for yourself is very different from doing it for someone else. And because I wasn't ready to learn all the basics, it was tough. So I had to start meeting some of my friends after I had done BM Pro, and I would say, okay, let me do a website for you. And I would do it for them for free. And that's how I started over time before I ended up meeting Teeka4 in 2020. And that was the turning point of my business. God used her to teach me how to be a professional. She came so prepared for the business. She knew exactly what she needed. She knew exactly what she wanted. Everything was properly documented into Excel sheets for the menus for the products. Things were put into attributes, and I didn't even know about attributes and ingredients, and she was giving me all this information, and she made sure that I did things exactly how she wanted. After I had done that website, that experience now taught me to do better for other clients, and from there I started learning the important things that were needed for websites in not just the beauty industry but in the Nigerian beauty industry and what they needed to succeed. And if you're a business that is just starting, the first thing I would say is get an Excel sheet. Every order that you place, or every order that is moved out, especially if you're not starting with a website, make sure that everything is put down in an Excel. You would be very, very happy later. I know that when I've spoken to so many people, the worst thing that ever happened to them is that when they were now ready to do their accounting, the backlog is a nightmare. So the first thing I would say anybody to make sure that as you're starting, that one sale that you're so happy about, write it down. It's super important. The other area that I will mention is when it has to do with your social media. Make sure that you always have, for those that are not shy, open everything everywhere. If you have the money, it's not so expensive, buy your domain. Get that name on TikTok, get it on LinkedIn, get it on Pinterest, get it everywhere, because you need to lock down your name. There's so many people that have underscore under their names just because when they were ready to open it in different places, it was already taken. So make sure that your names are locked down everywhere. Even your domain is not so expensive. You go to namecheap.com and you buy a domain there, or you go to Go54 from Nigeria, you buy your domain and you keep it. Even if you're not ready, you do that and you keep it. Those are some of the important things that I would say. My first million was over $1 million from one invoice. I saw the job and it was the largest job I'd gotten as of that time. And when I saw it, when I was writing down the invoice and writing down all the things I was going to do, I remember writing it down and thinking, would they pay me? Because there's always that, like, is it possible that they would actually pay me this money that I'm asking? Because you need to remember that I fell into this business. It wasn't something I was trained for. So by the time I had done the invoice, put all the products in, because one of the things I started doing then was that I started charging for product uploads. And I put everything together, and the lady called me to negotiate, and I was saying, no, I wouldn't see me with so much, I won't do it, I will not reduce it. I ended up reducing, but I'm like, even the reduction, I'm like, Boma, they will pay you this thing. The day, I still remember, it was a Friday evening before the Sabbath, and they made payment for the invoice. I couldn't believe it. I went to my room, I knelt down, and I cried. And I thanked God, because I did not believe I was going to ever do a business where somebody would actually pay over 1 million at a time to give to me. It was surreal, but it was something that I was super, super thankful for. Not for the money. I now realized that someone valued me over 1 million. Somebody now trusted me with their hard-earned money. It was a different mindset that I got from that. For that particular job, I feel I spent more, because there were so many things that ended up kind of going wrong that I had to use the money to fix, I had to employ more people. So it was, but I'm not afraid when it comes to things like that anymore, because I realized that the harder a task is, the better for you, because by the time you're done, you're able to do something else with that knowledge that you've gotten from that hard task. So I have no fear for hard things. But I also want to chip Teeka4 into that as well, because it was her that gave me that mindset. One of my clients called me recently, and she said, Boma, anything I ask you for, you never tell me it's not possible. And I told her, you have to thank Amaka for that from Teeka4. Every single time when I used to tell her that, oh, this is not possible, she was like, but I saw it on Amazon, so that means it's possible. And I'm like, but I've never seen it anywhere, we're using this. And she's like, Boma, let us try first. So I got to a point that I just noticed that every time she asked me for something I had never seen before and I didn't know about, I won't say, no, it's not there. I would go and look for it first, go and find out solutions, and then if I've done everything that I can, that's when I will now go and meet her and say, oh, it wasn't possible for us to do it at this time, because technologies change. You might have that solution tomorrow. So now I can hardly remember a time right now when I've told somebody, no, it's not possible. My business is run with biblical principles. So because it's run with biblical principles, I try as much as possible not to do something that I feel God might not want to do. So that's how because once I have to start looking for something, I just notice that it doesn't go as well as I would say. Even when people come to me and they start saying things, negative things about their former designers, I always say, no, you don't have to put it like that. They only did what they did for you based on the knowledge that they had. The reason why I can do what I'm doing is the knowledge I already have. So I don't put down other designers, even when I have to speak to them to collect, because some of them sees the client's information. But even I'll say, no, give me the person's number. I'll call the other designer. I'm like, hi, my name is Boma. How are you? Are you okay? Please, I would like to speak with you. Please, I want to have this information. Please, can you give it to me? This is why I need it. And I never have any issues collecting any information from them, because I understand that people can only give you what they have. It's not because they want to make your life miserable, but that's how I look at life in general. So naturally, I'm very, very oblivious. I'm scattered. And those that are creatives will know what I mean. Our brains are constantly looking for the next excitement and all that. But what God has done for me is He made me understand how important it was to surrender my life to someone. Why that is very important is all my life, especially when I was in school, I always avoided authority. I never wanted to be around people that would tell me what to do. And then I noticed that once I surrendered my life to God, I now had the authority that I had been avoiding. He says in Psalms 32 verse 8, he says, I will instruct you, right? And I will counsel you with my eyes on you. So since I did not have the regular counseling that other people had where they went to school, taught, so I just realized that I constantly had direction. Like for instance, I could open YouTube and the first video randomly that I wasn't looking for is the exact video I needed to solve a problem for me. And then there's something else. I'm a 7-day Adventist, so we do not work on Sabbath days. So what I tell all my clients is no matter what happens to your business, from Friday evening to Saturday evening, I will not be available. My staff will not be available. And I noticed that for the past 5 years, nothing has ever happened to my business sites on Saturday. So those are things that have also strengthened my faith.